So we are still going to continue with polynomials today, and we have one small last piece to add, and that is going to be dividing with polynomials. Now, depending on whether you are green or gold, we may have got a little bit of this in class, okay, but we want to make sure we can look at dividing polynomials no matter what format this is presented in. Okay, so when we are dividing with polynomials, we want to make sure we remember our rules with just monomials, right? And that says when we are dividing and there are exponents involved, we subtract the exponents. Now the coefficients still get the normal rules, right? We divide them or reduce them. Okay, and division can be presented in multiple different formats, right? There's lots of different ways that we can write division. So we can write division with this symbol. We can write division as a fraction. We can write division with this symbol. We could even write the words divided by. All of them would be telling us to divide. Okay, so let's say we have something like 20x to the 5th plus 45x to the 4th, and we are going to divide that by 5x to the 3rd. Okay, so we have a binomial divided by a monomial, and all the division that we're going to be looking at, we're going to be dividing by a monomial. We won't get to dividing by a polynomial until you get into second year algebra. Okay, but when we divide, what we're doing is we're going to take this monomial that we're dividing by, and we're going to divide each term by that 5x to the 3rd. So I'm going to take that 5x to the 3rd, and I'm going to put it underneath each term. And then I'm going to divide each of these individually. So I'm just going to look at this first chunk and divide just like we did with monomials. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. And then I'm going to subtract the exponents. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And then I'll do 45 divided by 5, which is 9. And I will subtract the exponents. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And so my answer will be 4x squared plus 9x. Okay, so here's one that I want you to do. Let's say we have 18y to the 4th minus 20y to the 3rd plus 10y squared. And I want you to divide this by 2y. Okay, so when you pick the answer, right, you should have taken this 2y and divided them each individually. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 4 minus 1 is 3. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 3 minus 1 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And so there's where that correct answer comes from. Now, we might also see division written as a fraction. Okay, so right here's our division symbol. We could also see it as a fraction. So let's say we have 30x to the 9th plus 25x to the 7th minus 40x to the 5th. And we are going to divide this by 5x to the 5th. Okay, so same idea, even though we have a different division symbol. So we're still going to take this 5x to the 5th, and we are going to write it with each individual term. Now, you could totally rewrite this and split up that fraction bar. I just think it's kind of easier to just write it once with each, so I don't have to write again. But that is up to you. And then again, we will divide them each individually. So 30 divided by 5 gives us a 6. We subtract the exponents. 9 minus 5 is a 4. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 40 divided by 5 is 8. Now here, be careful because 5 minus 5 is 0. Right? Anything to the 0 power is 1, so these just cancel out, right? To be writing down 8 times 1, and you don't need to write down that times 1. So here is our final answer. Okay, so once again, you are going to try one on your own. Okay, so let's say we have 28 y to the 7th plus 14 y to the 5th minus 32 y to the 3rd. Okay, we're going to divide this by 2y to the 3rd. Okay, then when you pick the correct answer here, right, we should have taken this 2y to the 3rd and divided each one. Okay, so 14y, and we're subtracting. So the 4th, 7y, we're subtracting. 16, those y's cancel out. Okay, last type, we can have our division written with our last symbol that we talked about, which right here, right? So let's say we have 8a to the 3rd, and we are going to divide that into 32a to the 7th plus 64a to the 5th. Again, it just looks different. It's the exact same concept. So I'm just going to take each one of those and divide them individually. So 32 divided by 8, and then we're subtracting. 64 divided by 8, and again, we are subtracting. Okay, so last one for you to try on your own. That's a 7. 7w to the 9th. And we are going to divide that into a 49w to the 12th minus 7w to the 10th. Okay, so you should have divided these each individually. 49 divided by 7 is 7. Again, we are subtracting the exponents. 7 divided by 7 is just 1, so you can write that 1 or not write the 1, and then we subtract the exponents. 10 minus 9 is 1, so 7w to the 3rd minus w.